In order for me to explain how I personally overcame being a nice guy and share some tips on how you can do the same thing, I think we first need to describe what that term actually means. I think understanding the real definition of the term is like 80% of the battle in solving the problem in your own life. So a nice guy is someone who is nice to the people in his life. That's something we should all strive on being. A nice guy is someone who, due to his own lowered sense of self-esteem, oftentimes pedestalizes other people and puts them above himself in his own mind. And what this does is it causes him to adopt a very fake, overly nice persona towards that person. And one way that we've all seen this manifest, and I know it has in my own personal life, is the guy who sees that girl who he thinks that she's out of his league, and therefore he adopts that fake personality, overly nice, supplicating, kissing her ass, agreeing with everything she says, and what ends up happening? He gets friend-zoned. And I hope you're paying attention to the key phrase in that definition, because that phrase is the central idea to actually solving this problem, and it certainly was for me too. And that is that due to his lowered sense of self-esteem, does he put other people on that pedestal. It's not necessarily that he sees other people as like superior beings or anything like that. It's often that he sees himself, and it certainly was for me, as inferior to other people because I know all of my own flaws and have all of my insecurities and everything like that. And so that's the key. That's the key for this, is improving your sense of self-esteem. The first part of this video is actually going to talk about the basics of how to improve your sense of self-esteem over the long run. It's going to be a little bit more theoretical, but it will translate into action that you can start taking on a daily basis. And then the second part of this video is going to be a lot more practical. It's going to be some communication tips that you can start implementing today that will make your sense of communication a lot more masculine and assertive and grounded. So, principle one, improve your sense of self-esteem. Well, how do you do that? Well, here's the thing. You can't just summon self-esteem from the ether. Like, you can't just like go into your settings and like turn up the self-esteem setting or anything like that. That's just not how it works. You have to earn your self-esteem in a way. You have to like deserve to have self-esteem. What I mean by this is, like, when I was in college and I was playing FIFA every single day and eating junk food and like talking to the same 3 people every single day of my life, I wasn't going out and socializing. I wasn't talking to a lot of girls. I wasn't doing anything productive with my life. I didn't deserve to have self-esteem because I wasn't doing shit. Self-esteem is about the action that you take on a daily basis. And look, if you're watching a channel like this, then chances are you already know that. Like, dude, if you're watching a channel like this, chances are you're already doing some self-improvement stuff. Look, if you had a day recently where you like meditated and then you worked and then you hit a great workout and then you eat clean all day and you don't eat a bunch of junk food and you don't like go on Instagram and like social media and waste a bunch of time on that, by the end of that day, you have this like buzz, you have this energy, you have this like feeling of positive momentum, and that is gonna make you feel good. And that will absolutely translate when you're socializing with other people. They will be able to read that energy. Like, people talk about vibrations. When you're doing like high vibration things, I don't know if it's like a spiritual thing or if it's just like some psychological thing that happens, but at the end of the day, it makes sense that if you consistently do the right habits, the right things on a daily and weekly and monthly basis, you are going to feel good about yourself. And it's not just about the progress that you're making, it's about the fact that you are conquering parts of yourself that used to hold you back. You know that you're making so much progress in your life, and you know that there's so much good that's coming your way. Dude, that is the secret. Self-esteem is about trajectory and taking action on a daily basis. Like, dude, I could get so many more clicks on this video if I was like 7 affirmations to say that like boost your self-esteem. It's like, yeah, you know what? I would get more clicks, and like maybe even some people would like kind of placebo their way into feeling a little bit better for a few minutes or something like that, but that's not the real thing, and you know it. And I know it too. We've all experienced periods of our life where we are consistently hitting our shit and we're doing the right thing and we're like making progress in every area of our life, and those are the moments where we feel great. And we also have moments where we slip up and we start playing more video games and eating more junk food and skipping workouts and things like that, and that's when we feel down. It's simple. So if you want to feel better about yourself, start taking action on a daily basis. More than any of these like affirmations and small little changes that you can start making, that it's really going to impact the way that you start carrying yourself with other people. And I promise you, if you start doing this, you're gonna start respecting yourself. And once you have that sense of self-respect, you're gonna be less likely to take shit from other people. You're gonna be less willing to kiss other people's ass. You're gonna be less enamored by hot girls just because of the fact that they're hot. You're gonna start to realize that there's tons of hot girls, that there's nothing really special about being a hot girl, just like there's nothing special inherently about being a good-looking dude. It's about the substance behind it. And that's gonna cause you to start like talking to girls and seeing what kind of substance they have to them, other than the fact that they're just good looking. And when you do that, you're gonna she's gonna realize, hey, like this guy's actually different. He is actually interested in learning about me. And when he connects with me on something that's not just my appearance, I'm gonna be more interested because I think it's actually real. And I see that he has standards in his life for the people that he brings into his life. Do the right thing on a daily basis. Respect yourself. If you respect yourself, then other people are gonna respect you. In principle 2, I'm gonna share some practical tips on how to communicate in a more grounded, authoritative, and masculine way. So when I talk to guys that I meet in my day-to-day life, maybe I'm at a bar or like a club or whatever, I feel like a lot of guys just have a very weak sense of communication. They're just not very effective at communicating. I see this in my career as well when I'm like working with people. It's just, I think a lot of guys especially have a really tough time coming across as like grounded and authoritative and masculine. And I think that is super important when you want to go from being that nice guy in order to actually be perceived as like a strong and confident man. So this is going to be a little bit quick because I'm just kind of putting it in one principle. I am going to make a full video on how to actually improve your communication. If you want to see that, and if you've made it this far in this video, if you got through that whole rant and everything, like the video, subscribe down below. We want to have you on board. This is a small little movement that we're starting, but it's only going to get bigger with time, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Let's start talking about communication. So the first thing that I've noticed that a lot of guys struggle with is tonality. You may have heard of the concept before, but if you have not, tonality basically refers to the pitch of what you're saying, specifically the pitch towards the ending of the things that you say. So here's the way that I learned it. Take the phrase, meet at my house at 7. So I can say it in one way, meet at my house at 7, meet at my house at 7. Do you hear how it goes up at the end? It almost sounds like a question. It's a question, right? I'm asking you, is that okay? Like meet at my house at 7? I'm asking you, is that okay to meet at my place at 7? Take a completely different example now. Meet at my house at 7. Meet at my house at 7. That's a command. That is like confident. Right? And so typically what you want to do in your communication is actually talk in a more downward tonality, or at the very least a neutral tonality. Pay attention to it every now and then, just like check yourself, and trust me, like that one, like it's such a subtle change, but once you change that one thing, it is going to change how people perceive you. Like the things that you used to say that people didn't really take seriously, just by having a stronger, like almost harsher tonality to it, you're gonna, like, it's actually crazy how much more authority people will give you. People will just kind of give you authority because you just sound so confident with what you're saying. It's gonna help you in business, it's gonna help you with women and dating, it's gonna help you across the board. So that's the first thing, improve your tonality. The next one is eye contact. Having strong eye contact, and that doesn't mean staring at the camera like not the camera, the staring at the person's eyes like this and like really like getting intense and like, you know, like obviously avoid that, but 99% of you, if you haven't put any thought into it, I promise you that you don't need to worry about like having too much eye contact at this stage in your life. You are probably not doing enough. One thing that you can do is try to look the person either in the left eye or the right eye and just directly look into that one eye. Some people say like looking into the left eye, you're looking into the left brain. I think that's a bunch of bullshit, but like in general, look into one eye. That just makes it a little bit easier. I feel like that's easier than like looking right in the middle. It just kind of like, you feel cross-eyed. If you just look into one eye, that really does make it an impact, I think. And just practice doing that, okay? Just practice doing that. If they break, you can then break a little bit. If they don't break yourself. Like just practice. Like if you do overcorrect a little bit and like go too far the other side where you're now looking in their eye too much, that's actually, I think, easier to then walk back. But if your problem right now, and I think 95% of the people I talk to, they're just not good with the eye contact and they just don't do enough of it. Put in a little bit more, start actually looking people in the eye a little bit more. Keep increasing this. It's gonna be so important. Like, dude, if you can't look a girl in the eye, you are never gonna get her attracted to you. Like, I promise. You need to be able to give her that piercing eye contact. And you need to be able to speak and like just talk to her while maintaining that strong, steady eye contact. Like that is a big part of that like initial courtship and flirtation and building up that chemistry and attraction and that sexual tension, is just having that strong eye contact and having that gaze and not breaking. You know, if she says something to kind of test you, she'll be like giving you that stare, she kind of knows what she's doing. It's also kind of subconscious on her part, but when she's giving you that shit test, you need to be able to maintain that eye contact, give her even stronger piercing eye contact, and just be calm and grounded and confident. And this comes with practice, guys. Like, this, it's not like this happens overnight, but the key to all of this is being able to maintain that eye contact. If you can't talk to the male barista and look at him and give him good eye contact, you're not gonna be able to do it when you're on a date with the hot girl. So you need to start practicing this in every stage of your life with guys, girls, everybody, and continue building it up. It takes some time, but it's super powerful. So that's eye contact, super important. I did go a little bit, I said it was gonna be quick, but I ended up going on another rant, but it's all good. I think it's super important stuff. And so that sums up section 2, open body language, better eye contact, tonality that is actually going down. If you implement those things, that's gonna have a really positive impact on the way that you communicate with other people. It's gonna have a really positive impact on the way that other people perceive you. You are going to be perceived as more masculine and assertive and confident, and that is super powerful. If you combine that with the most important thing that I talked about in this video, which is improving your self-esteem through daily action, you are going to stop being that nice guy. I promise you, dude. I'm telling you, when you feel good about yourself and when you communicate in a more confident and assertive way, you're going to eliminate like 95% of those nice guy tendencies. Now again, I'm gonna make a more detailed video about communication, and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper and also talk about some other things. If you wanna see that, if you like this video, subscribe down below, like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you have any other tips or things that you have experienced in your own life that, maybe it was a story of you being a nice guy, maybe it's a story of you being friend zoned and how you overcame that. I would love to hear it. And again, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being on this channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.